Hi, it's Christy with CrystalKnitsandPearls.com, and I'm here with my weekly update. This is for the week ending August 23rd, and it's probably a short one today. I haven't really finished a lot or focused on a lot, just kind of one project focus. So I did finish my first golden hour ribbed tube sock, if you will. So it doesn't have a heel. You'll notice it's heelless. I had a lot of folks ask about the pattern. It's not really a pattern per se. What I did is just I knit a straight rib. So something that you would do for a cuff, I just knit it all the way down. It was the back of my banana sock, if you remember that. That also didn't have a heel. So the ribbing was on the back to kind of accommodate for that lack of a heel. It was supposed to measure 14 inches before the toe. So for me, that was 164 rounds. So knit 2, purl 2 for 164 rounds, and then I finished off the toe and Kitchenered it closed. Immediately upon finishing this, I cast on sock number 2, and I am 133 rounds into this, so I'm super close to being done. Like, 31 rounds after this round. And then I'll just do the same, finish the toe and Kitchener it off. It's super stretchy, so that's the idea, right? I suspect, but haven't tried this on, so I can't say for sure. I'm a size 8 in women's, sometimes a 9 depending on the shoe. But I don't know. I don't know if this would fit me. It will likely fit one of my younger 2 girls, so one of them will likely wind up with it. The pattern, though, that I got the lady who put this pattern out, she said she was a women's size 8 and she knit 14 inches before the toe. So, but everybody knits differently. So she may be a looser knitter than I am, whatever. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted. I did not finish anything else or start anything else. I did not focus on any other projects. I am attempting to finish this pair probably this week. They will get finished depending on how much time I have in between work and stuff. Then I intend on picking up my mermaid scale shorty sock. I'm pretty close to being finished with sock number 1. So I would like to focus on that next and then possibly focus on getting the second one done. Summer sock camp with the Crazy Sock Lady ends on Monday. So ultimately I am trying to finish by Monday. However, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. It's not a hill I am willing to die on. But one other thing that I did last week is I ripped out my Florida temperature blanket. If you've been around for any length of time, you'll know I, in 2025, committed to knitting a Florida temperature blanket. I had 4 colors, and I did it because Florida doesn't have big fluctuations in temperature like some states do or areas in the country do. I decided to do it according to the last digit. So you may remember, you may not, I ripped that blanket out probably 5 solid times. I started it, I got to a certain point, didn't like the way it looked, ripped it out. Did that 4 more times. So I probably knit around 7 months worth, and it was hanging on the back of my chair, in my office chair. And I don't know, I would just look at it every once in a while and I'd be like, I really do not like the way this looks. The colors are beautiful. It's not the yarn, it's not that. I didn't like the way the color changes were coming together. And I don't know if that was me, the way that I'm knitting, or if it was just because, you might have like one row that's one color, and then you might have the next row that's another color, and that might be the color for 4 rows, and then you have a one, row color. And I don't know if it was that or it was me. When you color change in knitting with a sock, you have an internal part. So if it's a little funky looking on the inside, it's not such a big deal, because on the outside it looks okay. With a blanket, it's two-sided, right? So you're not going to get that same grace. So again, I don't know if it was me, the pattern, which really wasn't a pattern. I was just straight knitting. I was just doing the color changes according to the temperature. So last Friday, I ripped it all out, rolled up all the yarn, separated it by color into 4 different bags. And I think when I get to that point where I'm ready to do it, which isn't now because I'm trying to focus on these other things, I think I'm just gonna do a straight like 5-row color block of the 4 colors. But I'll keep you posted. I don't really know yet. I'm not ready to dive into the blanket, so we'll see. That might be like a fall knitting at the softball field project, because that yarn is kind of warm and, comforting and squishy. And so that might be it gets a little cold here in Florida sometimes. So I'm sitting out at night games or whatever. It can be chilly. So we'll see. To be determined. I finished 2 books last week. Tom Lake by Ann Patchett, which if you read The Dutch House, that is the same author. It was not in the same, I don't want to say genre, but not really in the same storyline at all, which is fine, right? You don't want the same storyline in 2 different books. But if you enjoyed The Dutch House, I think you will enjoy Tom Lake. The other book that I finished was The Housewife by Natalie Borelli, because there's more than one The Housewife book. It was good. It was a very interesting story. Just quick synopsis. She goes to jail. The main character goes to jail for what I think was manslaughter. And she has a sister, and her sister marries this rich doctor. And while, she's still in prison, her sister dies. And they say it's suicide, but she thinks that her husband killed her. So when she gets out of prison, I didn't catch how long of a time frame it is in between, but when she does get out of prison, she goes out to California where her sister was living with her husband, and she arranges, she puts herself in a place where she can meet him. She doesn't tell him she's her sister's sister. And she basically courts him, right? She dates him, she ends up marrying him, and it's all in an attempt to get into his house and his life and all that to figure out what happened to her sister. So it's pretty interesting that someone would go that far to figure this out. But I don't have a sister, but I can imagine, how devastating that might be. They were very close, and how devastating, that might be. I am currently reading, it's called The Vanilla Killer by Peter Bolland. So it's a part of a series, and I've read another one. I think it was the Widow's Guide to Murder, I think was his other one that I read. Cute. It's also a cute story. It's like a cozy crime thing. So yeah, check that out. I am over halfway done. So probably finish that this week and move on to the next. What else? Oh, products that I'm loving. So I'm still loving my ChiaoGoo 9-inch circulars. They are fixed circulars, so they're not part of my interchangeable needles. I primarily use them for sock knitting. I do have a pair that are 16-inch in a different size, because this is US size 1 for socks, that I am using for my sweater sleeve. So I do love my interchangeables. I also love my fixed ChiaoGoos, I buy mine from an Etsy seller. I think it's called Handsome Fibers or something like that. But you can get them, you know, at a knitting store, at one of your local yarn stores, or on Amazon if you're so inclined. What else? I'm loving, so my daughter uses a Tinted Dew moisturizer on her face, and so I'm loving the Counter Tinted Dew moisturizer. It keeps her face, you know, smooth. She gets kind of dry skin sometimes from some of her medication, and it also gives her a little bit of almost like a foundation. So covers enough to where it kind of covers some of the blemishes and things, but isn't heavy like caked on, you know, foundation, which I also love their foundation, by the way. It's called Twin Skin because it's not heavy and thick. It really blends in nicely. It is the foundation that I use and I absolutely adore it. What was the other product? I think it was my Laughing Hens baby cotton yarn that they sent to me. I have not cast on yet, but they sent me a bunch of donuts, so they are, you know, ready to be cast on. And I think I told you last week I had intended to knit a tee with it, like a t-shirt, but I don't know, one of my coworkers is having a baby, so I might, and it's a boy, and this is denim blue color. So I might figure out something to knit for the baby. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not ready yet, so there's time. But I think that is all for this week. It's a little bit longer than I even expected, but I will drop all those links. They are affiliate links, so if you happen to use those links to purchase, I will get a small little payment, but it doesn't cost you any more. You can also go directly to those sites and purchase them, you know, directly from the sellers. Yeah, that is all. Until next week, happy knitting.